Hi everyone, my team and I will be presenting on how we solve Deca assignment scenario 2 using linear programming. My team consists of Horace, Macarius, Gavin, and myself. So the objective of this problem is to allocate the least number of officers working for each 8 hours shift. We have to find out the minimum number of officers the department have to allocate to work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 12 noon to 8 p.m., 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, etc., etc. However, there's a minimum number of officers required to be on duty for different times of the day. From 8 a.m. to 12 noon, the minimum number of officers required to be on duty is 5. From 12 noon to 4 p.m., the minimum number is etc. etc. as you can see from the screen.
To solve the problem, we first let x1 be the number of officers beginning work at 8 a.m., x2 be the number of officers beginning work at 12 noon, and etc. x1, x2, x3 are the decision variables which we are trying to find out. How many officers to start work at 8 a.m., how many officers to start work at 12 noon, and etc. So we set their values to be empty initially. The objective is to find out the minimum numbers of officers to be allocated each timing. Hence, for objective functions, we take the sum of officers starting work on different timings to be set to the minimum later in the solver. To find the minimum number of officers needed in total to solve the question.
We have 6 constraints in total, which are the minimum number of officers required to be on duty for the different times of the day. So for the first constraint on the minimum number of officers required to be on duty from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, we take the sum of x1 and x6, which is the sum of the number of workers working from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then 4 a.m. to 12 noon respectively. Only they can make up for the workers to be on duty from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. So we take the sum of them and make sure it's more than or equal to the minimum required, which is 5. We also apply the same logic to the remaining 5 constraints. So next, we open solver and set our objective to the cell, which has a formula of sum of officers, starting work on different timings, and set it to the minimum. Lastly, for the by changing variable cells field, we then set it to the values of x1 to x6.
Next, we place all our 6 constraints inside the constraint field and check the box which states make unconstrained variables non-negative, as we cannot have negative numbers of officers working at a specific time. Lastly, we select simplex LP as our solving method and click solve. Therefore, the minimum number of officers needed in total is 19. 3 officers should begin work at 8 a.m. 3 officers should begin work at 12 noon. 7 officers should begin work at 4 p.m. No officers should begin work at 8 p.m. 4 officers should begin work at 12 midnight. 2 officers should begin work at 4 a.m. Thank you for listening to our presentation.